From episode 6. Starts with Jade explaining to Boyd about what happened on his mushroom trip. He's telling them that they need to go down into the tunnels and get the bones of the Ankui kids, and that's how they get home. Well, that's what he thinks. This episode should have been called Drink Up because everybody's drinking. Um, Boyd's trying to get a handle on what Jade just told him. Jade can't figure out how to convince Boyd. And quite frankly, I don't know why it's so hard to convince Boyd. He knows it's crazy there, but I guess that's the reason why, he's probably thinking his mind is playing tricks on him. Plus he sat there and they didn't leave. But he knew the whole reason Jade wanted to go on the mushroom trip, right? So he tells them, he says, I just don't know how I can get you to believe me. And he said, okay, I've never been in the basement of Colony House where the tunnels are. He said, so if we go there and there's a secret door, then you're going to know that I'm telling the truth. So they head to the basement of Colony House, and Jacasa's there working on whatever she's doing that Boyd's giving her. And Jade asked her what she was doing there or something like that. And she said, Boyd just wants to keep me busy so I won't kill myself. So they find the spot that Jade's talking about, and they remove all the things that were piled up, just like in his mushroom trip. But there's a wall there, so there's no door. And Jade is disappointed, and Boyd is ready to dismiss the whole situation. So that now they're in the kitchen of Colony House, and they have a little tussle because Jade said, "At least I'm doing something. What are you doing?" And then they get into it, and then Kenny overhears what's happening. So Boyd fills Kenny in and he lets him know he wasn't trying to keep anything from him. Everything was just happening so fast. And then Kenny says, well, I got to show you something. And he pulls out Victor's drawing of the man in the yellow with his mom. This episode, there was a lot of, because you forget because we didn't get an episode Labor Day weekend, which I don't think that was right. I was looking forward to being able to watch it and not have to worry about getting up in the morning. But anyway, like watch it several times. So this is an information episode. So everybody's giving information of what they found out. And so he's showing Boyd this picture. But then one of the extras say, what's happening? What's going on? What is he doing up there? And they never get the conversation about the man in the yellow, about the picture yet, Boyd and Kenny. So Victor was on the roof. That's what all the commotion was. So, I mean, I knew Victor wasn't going to jump. I think we all knew Victor wasn't going to jump, but Boyd comes up there and he's talking to him, and Victor is telling the story about a man when he was a kid, a man who couldn't take it being there anymore, and he jumped. Boyd talks to Victor and he talks him off the roof, and he asks him if he can help him with the man in the yellow suit, with some information, and Victor says yes, and then they go into Victor's room. So Julie comes up to Sarah, and Sarah's coming in the house with some cans of paint, and Julie wanted to apologize to her about, I guess, the way she treated her when she tried to kill her brother, because she was like, I know what this place does to you. So I guess so. I'm glad Julie's coming into the scene a little bit because somebody needs to be there with Sarah while she's there with Sophia's crazy self. And so Julie, another thing is, who was in charge of the wig budget? Because Julie's wig could look a little better than it does. But anyway, so she apologized, and then Sarah asked her if she wants to come help her paint Sophia's room because she wanted to make it nice for her. Back to Victor, and he's telling them about the man in the yellow and what he knows. Then Donna comes in and interrupts him and tells Boyd they need to go out to the shed. Again, more information because now she needs to tell him about what happened at the settlement. They get there. She's breaking it down. She said, I don't know how else to tell you. We got attacked by some giant dolls. And she's telling them what happened to Roger because they walk in and he's on the floor covered up. And so she tells them, and when they pull off the tarp, there's Roger. Yikes. Um, Next is Fatima and the Golem. That thing looks pretty cool, actually. So she's talking to Ellis, and she's telling him, I'm not crazy. My dad said if you can believe in something magical, then you'll be fine, you'll be safe. And she was explaining that away. Now, I think, here's what I think might happen. I think Roger out there in the shed, they're going to forget about him for a minute. And at night, Roger's going to get up and come to attack, and that thing's going to stop it. That's what I think will happen, which would be pretty cool. Ethan comes in to talk to Victor, and he's like, he said, what did he say to him? He said, why were you so afraid of the man in yellow? Why were you so scared? And Victor was like, I don't want to tell you. I don't want to tell you that because I told my dad and he got upset. So then Ethan goes, well, I'm not going to tell you what happened in the settlement. And Victor was like, okay. But Ethan tells him anyway. He's like, can I come color with you? And then he sits down and he tells him that they got attacked by monsters in the lake. And Victor was like, really? I think he asked him what they look like or something like that. Okay, so Sophia walks into the sheriff's office and Henry's in there and she sees her clothes. I forgot who she was looking for, but anyway, Henry ends up leaving. You know, Henry going for a drink, okay? But Sophia comes in there again and she's making small talk. I'm like, oh, she's about to mess with Henry's head big time. So back at the colony house, they're discussing the dolls and that the fact that the nightmares, one of our answers that we got was people's nightmares once they die they come to life there, which that's crazy. So they're talking about that, and Boyd's trying to get his mind around this. It was funny because at one point when Tabitha was telling them they were her dolls and all this stuff, and then Boyd goes, okay, so what you're trying to say is, what are you trying to say? But they came to the conclusion about the nightmares coming to life. Yes, and they are drinking. This is Donna going off about. She's like, we can't keep people protected. Now we have to worry about literal nightmares coming to life. Tabitha leaves. They're trying to settle her down because she's tired of all this, and she walks out. I mean, everybody has a breaking point. She's always trying to be strong for everyone, like Boyd. So Tabitha walks out the room. She said, "I need to splash some water on my face," and then she falls. She has a heart attack, which we all knew at some point Tabitha was going to have a heart attack because she was always on 10 every time you saw her. Plus that little conversation she had with Ethan, I had mentioned before. I thought she was going to die from what they said, the way the conversation went when they were out at the settlement with her and Ethan. But anyway, so they're tending to Tabitha, or not Tabitha, but Donna. Oh, and also I forgot about her too. They're tending to her. They're like, here, let me get some ointment. I'm like, ointment? They need to do a little more than some ointment, but girl, okay. So Kenny went to go get them to help Donna and get a defibrillator and all that, and try to. And Boyd was doing chest compressions, and nothing was working. I what? Okay, so when I was screenshotting this, what is on her leg? Like, is that supposed to mimic like a board or something? Because that looks like paper. I don't know if that was a mistake, but I was like, what is on her leg? Like, that is nothing to stabilize it. It looks like a piece of paper. Blooper, maybe. Anyway, so nothing was helping with Donna. Boyd didn't want to give up, but Christy was like, it's not going to help. He was like, shock her again. I think they shocked her like 3 times, and nothing was helping. So they stopped, and Boyd kept going with the compressions, and then she finally did. Like she started breathing again. I thought this was it for Nana. So when Boyd was going to get, because they needed something, some wire for the monitors for to keep her to watch her vitals, and so I forgot where they found Jade, but or where Boyd found Jade, but he went in the shed looking for the wires. And Jade, so when they went in there, that body was laying there, but it was covered up. And Jade was like, "Who is this? Who's under?" Now remember, Jade's probably still coming down off the mushrooms, but he was like, "What's going on?" He could not get it together, and Boyd wanted him to help him find the wire. He was like, "I'll tell you later. Just help me find the wire." But they needed to move the body out of the way looking for the wire. So when they did, the tarp came off, and that got Roger's face was all Jade saw it, and he was so freaked out. It was so funny. Jade, Ethan found out about Donna, and he wanted to say goodbye because he was like, she's gonna die. Everybody dies. So he goes in and says goodbye to her, or he's saying goodbye, or telling her he's gonna be strong. And everybody was looking like it was a moment, but I wasn't really feeling it at all. I don't know. He puts his little hand on her hand, and I don't know. I just wasn't feeling the moment.